We gotta shoot the podcast, and Braden's sleeping, so we're gonna go wake him up. Braden, it's time to wake up. Braden. Braden.
You missed every fucking shot.
Well, you're under the covers.
True. It's time to shoot the podcast, Braden. Oh, don't hit me, Jason. Hey, what's up? My name is Aiden.
And I'm Matt.
This is Braden.
And that's Chase.
And this is the Hello Strangers
Podcast.
Damn, we really got that one done. Welcome to episode 2 of the Hello Strangers Podcast. Today we have a lot of really cool things to talk about. This is my podcast voice again. I keep doing that during every intro, but it's fine.
What a tool.
Okay, it's messed up. You don't have to roast me. It's a jerk. Anyways,
I bet he does gamer videos too.
okay, that's messed up. Yeah, so today we got a lot to talk about. First thing, because we talked about our last podcast, I'm just going to go straight into it. Let's talk about roommate problems. Because I have a lot of problems with all of you. I hate you all. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Maybe. I only have a problem with one of you.
Ooh. Sorry, Matt.
Okay. Should we get a drum roll?
Okay, but... Well, I actually didn't really have any problems. I was just curious. We should probably start there. Does anyone have any, like, major issues? Oh, we have, like, one issue.
Yeah, we talked about it this morning. We gotta do the dishes more.
Dishes more.
Because, like, there was a whole ass pile in the sink this morning. Half of them weren't even mine, and I did it. But, like, we just gotta, like... Yes. Just gotta start, like... Well, yeah.
I did the dishes the other time before that. And then
no, I mean, just this morning. This morning, I mean.
Oh, no, I know.
Just this... I'm just saying. After we do the dishes, or after you eat, just, like, rinse it. And then put in the dishwasher. And then we don't have a pile, and it's great.
Okay, other roommate problems. That side of the house smells so bad.
I mean, the cool side.
The not as cool side.
The more cool side.
Less cool side.
More cool.
Yeah, Aiden, do you have any problems with our bathroom?
Oh, your bathroom's really nice. I love using it a lot.
Okay, that's my problem.
What's your problem? Explain.
This stupid guy from the not cool side, his name's Aiden. He comes in and uses our bathroom all the time when he has a perfectly good bathroom.
Okay, but to be fair, your bathroom's like a lot closer. I'd have to like walk through my room.
Our bathroom is also the guest bathroom, so it's my bathroom, Chase's bathroom, and the guest bathroom.
Yes. And I'm a guest.
Not a guest.
I'm a guest.
You're a guest in your bathroom.
In your bathroom.
Well,
I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, Matt, you kind of fucked us there.
Okay, no,
it was a good try though.
No, you're not a guest.
Is there any other problems we have?
Yeah, sometimes when me and Braden are cuddling at night, like he starts farting a lot, and I just it feels really awkward.
You never invite me to the group cuddle session.
Okay, well I'm sorry, Zaxby's has that effect on me too. We eat it every day.
I don't think there's.
Okay, well sometimes when Chase and I are cuddling, he just starts touching my feet without.
You did not consent?
Without consent.
I don't remember that.
And I'm pretty sure in the last podcast we made it very clear that consent is badass.
Consent is really badass. That's really messed up.
Can we get another whip and a dab for consent?
Can we get a renegade for consent again? Again, Matt hates consent.
Matt is against consent.
Well, not renegade. The real renegade is by Chris Daughtry. That's all I gotta say.
In other news, I'm drinking kombucha.
That's my problem.
Try it. Tell me what you think.
Braden is trying the kombucha.
Ha ha ha, unless. What are your thoughts?
I revoked my problem.
You like it?
It's alright.
It's
I'm
like
not trying
candy.
it.
Try it.
No, I'm not.
Try it. I spit in it.
No.
Dude, it smells
You wanna try
weird.
it?
That's like, it's
It
weird.
does smell a little weird, but I actually like it.
Oh.
I like the taste, at least. It's good for you. It
I don't know
cleans,
if I'd go out of my way to buy it, but
it
like
cleans your
it's-
body. It like it detoxes.
It's like bitter grape jelly.
I love
That's
it.
what that
dude.
is.
It's tangy. It's
That's
a
what it
little
tastes like.
sour, but it's like I can feel my body
I don't
already
know.
fixing itself.
I think
Maybe,
it's a
don't know.
placebo. I
It
think,
probably
I think
is a
you're just- I think
placebo.
You're just thinking that.
Maybe. I was looking up how to make my own kombucha because I was thinking about
Okay.
doing it. Because I was like, what if we tried making our own? But it takes like a month to do. You know, like, I mean, you can make it just by buying store bought one, and then you just like put a bunch of tea, and then you put it in a closet for like 4 weeks, and then it grows
I
into
feel
this
like we-
weird, like,
Isn't it like fermented cabbage or something?
I have no idea what it is.
We'd totally kill ourselves trying to do that. Like, I feel like we'd put it in the closet and forget about it, and then it'd start, like, releasing some weird fucking spores or fumes, and we'd just, like, gas ourselves in our own fucking home.
That would be sick. Yo, okay, the other day we did kind of gas ourselves.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Dude, okay, so we had this extra microwave, basically. It's like a huge one. And basically during Boys' Day, we were like, what if we microwaved a bunch of random items? So we threw, we each grabbed an item. I grabbed Crayola marker. Wait, Crayola markers? That sounds weird. I don't know, they're washable markers. Are they Crayola? Does
Yes.
Crayola make
Yes.
markers?
Yeah.
Not Crayola markers. We're rolling with it.
Okay. Yeah, so we just threw those in, and then, like, dude, they just, like, popped off. They, like, exploded in the microwave.
Like, none of us were expecting it either. Like,
Yeah.
it just, like, we
Yeah.
were all like, oh, damn, this is kind of lame. And then it just fucking started exploding
Yeah,
in the
kind of.
microwave.
Yeah, it started exploding, and it, like, puffed up and all this crazy shit. And then you put a bar of soap in, and then we, like, did that, and then the house, it started smoking the microwave. And the house was filled with really gross fumes.
It was just, I don't know how to describe the smell. It was just like, it sounds so
Yeah.
dumb.
It
It
was
was
burnt
marker and then soap. It was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, but, like,
Like burnt plastic.
well, yeah, I
Yeah, that
definitely felt. I feel like we accidentally got high off of markers.
Dude, I got such a bad headache.
No, I got a really bad headache, and I started to get dizzy, so we all stepped outside, and then it was like, we were all feeling really dizzy, and I was like, oh,
there's
God.
just like a clip of me like in the fetal position outside, just like, fuck. Like, it was bad. We had to stay out there for a solid 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty shit, honestly. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really expect that. We probably should have done it outside in case.
Yeah, I said we should do it outside. And
Yeah,
then
but-
y'all set it up right here on this table.
Because I was like, for the shot, it would look nicer inside because it's dark outside, and
I mean, yeah, the microwaves are like lit up though, like on the inside.
but like our faces wouldn't be that lit up. We'd have to bring out a light. That's so much more work when we could just set it up in here and almost
And-
die of fumes.
yeah, that's a
And
good
that's
point.
like, that's like a better story, you know?
Good point.
Almost dying of markers. Hopefully none of us, you know, got like cancer or something, or
My lungs are rainbow now.
hopefully none of us breathed in any toxins or are gonna die early at a young age because of mesothelioma. But
If you or a loved one
Yeah.
has mesothelioma, call 1-800-mesothelioma.
thelioma.
That's it. That's good.
Great, I love that bit. That's
That's
awesome.
So good.
Oh, and other house news. These guys bought these big ass Nerf guns.
They're not that big.
They're pretty big. And
They're
now,
called Mega.
yeah, I'm the only one that doesn't have one now. So, because I didn't want to spend the money because I'm cheap.
Such a simp.
Okay, mine was a gift. Just saying that.
Mine,
Oh,
I
so-
bought mine.
Yeah,
I'll
your
own it.
Fortnite one's really cool.
Yeah, it's Fortnite.
It's so cool.
One in the
It's right there, yeah.
comment one if you love Fortnite.
Fuck. Hey.
Yeah, so now though, like I feel like we're all been shooting each other with these guns now. So whenever you walk around a corner, you're kind of scared that you're gonna get shot because they kind of sting a little bit.
Well, now it's like you don't even have to have a gun. If you just like make a quick movement at somebody, everyone's like fucking
Oh, yeah.
terrified and we all jump.
Dude, I walked into the room yesterday, like just walked in casually, and Brandon jumps and like hits the fan like thingies, the strings or whatever.
Like it was the most casual like thing ever. He just like waltzed in, and I was just expecting to get like lit the fuck up, and I turned. His arms aren't even up, like they're just down at his side. And I was spooked.
Dude, when you were napping earlier, we heard a noise outside, and we all like literally like stopped because we thought it literally sounded like somebody was like cocking like a Nerf gun.
Oh
And so we're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And so we like snuck up and looked through the hole,
That's
and like
Like
some
Brayden.
guy was just leaving his apartment, but it sounded like a Nerf gun.
It's like then Brayden like hired some like Nerf gun guys to show up at our house and just spray us down.
Cause like I told them to wake me up like an hour before the podcast before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they woke me up is they all just came in with guns and
It was a
ended
good
my
time.
life.
It was a good time.
Now given they only hit me like twice.
yeah,
'cause
well,
I was
you're
under a
the
blanket.
covers, so
Well,
it's,
yeah, I'm
like
just-
impossible to hit you.
Okay, but like maybe you just have shit aim. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I had the camera.
I play Fortnite, so
Okay.
I do too, if you can't tell by my gun.
yeah, you play it a lot more than I do. It's really cool. Anyways. You just L dance me.
Yeah.
What is it called? Do you know Orange Justice?
Give the L.
Okay, they actually. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, Matt, do
1v1
do the Orange
Matt,
Justice.
Renegade.
Oh, he just renegaded.
Oh shit.
No, no.
Can you edit that clip with like the renegade music
Just a
like,
loop
on
it.
like a
No,
Nah.
I do not renegade.
Just
Do
consent.
not
Just give
renegade.
consent, Matt.
No.
It's so
I
messed
do
up
not
that you don't
renegade.
consent to anything.
Oh, not renegading.
You have to renegade to consent.
Yeah, to give consent, you have to run. That's
That
how we
everyone
show
knows
consent.
this.
That
That's
is
how
not
everyone
true.
shows
Everyone knows
consent.
the real renegade song is Crystal Tree.
Do
Oh
you
my
do,
God.
do the renegade
Renegade.
dance to it?
No, it's not even.
Then you
it's
hate
an insult
consent.
to dance itself.
All right, hold on.
honestly.
Now we're on a loop. We've been to this. Okay.
Okay, we've talked
New,
about
new
this.
topic. New loop. New
topic.
loop.
Okay. The topic I really want to get into for today's podcast because I'm in a spooky mood. I want to talk about some like ghost stories because I have a lot, and I've been like talking about it on the podcast. Like I was building all this up because I wanted to make it a main topic of a podcast and not just go off on a tangent. So, ghost stories. You guys have any? Or should I just start?
Wait,
I mean,
Wait, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
You do?
I don't know.
To
Yeah.
an extent, yeah.
I think the one that was like realist that I had was when we were in Tennessee and we were doing the Ouija board like at 2 a.m. Like me, you, and Nate,
Yeah.
and literally didn't move or anything, right? And we're just like sitting there, with our hands on it, and there's little candles all over the place, and like my hands are like here, probably a good like half a foot away from like any of the candles, and like the thing's like not moving, but I just like feel something like singe my arm, and I shoot, and like literally, I don't know if you remember this, but like all my arm hairs like stood straight up, and I was just like, hello.
Yeah, the goosebumps.
Yeah, and then Nate was like, yo, what the heck?
I think I remember that. I don't know. It was a while ago.
And it just like I just like felt weird after that. I was like, okay, this is like kind of spooky. But that was like the only thing that
Yeah.
I think was kind of close.
Dude, I had the weirdest Ouija board. Well, I've had a lot of Ouija board experiences.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it doesn't work every time I do it, but I would say a good maybe like 30% of the time it'll work, depending on who I'm with, where I'm at, stuff like that. I don't know. But like I had a friend who worked at this country club, and he got us in after hours, basically after they closed, and he said all the workers have had these ghost experiences and shit. And so we went there. We went to the second floor. We went to this big like office room. There was probably like 6 of us. I brought like my friends, and we were doing the Ouija board, and we got in contact with this spirit. Again, I don't know if this is 100% true. It could have been a friend moving it. It could be anything. Like I'm not like 100% believer in Ouija boards, but I've just had a lot of weird experiences that are somewhat unexplainable. But so we're doing the Ouija board. We're talking to the spirit, and we're just like asking all these questions like how to die, blah blah blah. I don't remember most of the answers, but I remember the spirit we were talking to started getting aggressive. So it started calling my friend a douchebag, and then it called me a retard. Am I allowed to say that word?
In the context of the story.
Okay, in the
yeah.
context of the story, the ghost called me a retard. Okay, he was a rude ghost.
Very rude.
So it started getting really mean, and I was laughing it off, because I don't know. And some of my friends were like, "Dude, let's maybe not do this anymore." And I was like, "Nah, we have to keep going, because I'm just like that. I don't know." And so eventually it got to a point where I think it said like balcony, and I was like, "Do you want one of us to go to the balcony?" And it goes to yes. And then I was like, "Okay, can you move to the person you want to go to the balcony?" So it moves closest to my friend Nick. So Nick goes and walks over to the balcony, and then it starts spelling out N-E, and then he feels something on the back of his neck, and he jumps, and it spells out neck, like almost at the same time. And we were all just like, holy shit, like kind of freaking out. Like, that's a weird coincidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay. if you're here making noise, and we hear a loud bang on the window outside, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the weirdest coincidences ever, or something's up, and then the lights start flashing, and then I start getting a really bad headache, but I'm like, I want to keep doing it, but everyone there's like, no, we have to stop, and I'm like, no, we can't stop. Like, this is the most activity I've ever gotten on a Ouija board, and I'm just fucking crazy, I guess. So we kept talking to it, then all of a sudden the thing goes to goodbye, like swipes really fast. And I'm like, no. And it goes to goodbye again. And I was like, are we still talking to spirit? It said no. And I was like, do you know me? And it said yes. And it said go. And then I was like, okay. So I went to goodbye and we walked outside and then my headache went away. And like, that was a really weird experience.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know how to, like, I don't know if it's real.
Right.
Like, but a part of me is like, that was a weird
That's
experience.
pretty like, yeah.
And like, I mean, the chances and coincidences that all happened make me kind of believe it. But I went back to that place and tried again, and it didn't work. So
It was a glitch in the simulation.
we are in a simulation. That is
100%
facts.
fact. It's a glitch.
We do live in a society.
God damn it. I'm trying to think. I don't really have any like recent ghosts. Okay, actually, I have one recent one. It was like not last October, but the October before. I think it was when I was visiting you. Actually, I just remember like we were downtown and there's these like 4 ghosts just like going around. I'm pretty sure they were drunk, but like, dude, it was like it's so weird. I'm not too sure if they were ghosts or if they were something else. There's a whole lot of controversy
Okay, well,
about
that
it.
was us. We were wearing ghost costumes on Halloween, and people thought we were part of the KKK. But we don't have to talk about that one.
No, but serious note. I just remember like when I was younger, I just like there used to be like a dark figure that would like pace around my bed at night that I would like always see. It wasn't like every night. It was just like random nights. I'd like wake up and there'd just be like this dark like thing like just kind of slowly going around the room, and then like sometimes it would just like fucking zoom, and then other it was just like slow. Like I don't fucking know. Like it didn't have eyes or anything. It was just like a dark like presence.
Do you
I
think
guess.
kids are more susceptible to seeing like ghosts and stuff? Because it seems like whenever I hear like ghost stories, usually people are like younger.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like it's like I don't know. Kids have like your mind's more like
Creative, or well, not creative.
imaginative.
Imaginative.
Yeah.
So you're more accepting of things, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that has something to do with it. I have no idea.
I think adults are like just more quickly to be like, oh, like think of like a rational explanation in their head before they like really let that thought wander.
Mm-hmm.
But like I had a similar, like when I was growing up in my parents' house at night, like I wouldn't really see things, but like I felt like the room would just like grow darker like every like once in a while, and like I would just like feel like a presence there, and it just like felt like really like scary, and I like couldn't explain it. I would like turn the light on and literally I would just like stand in my room because I was like, I can't lay down, like I'm scared. But yeah, that was like all throughout like middle school and high school that like I had stuff like that, and then like one day it just like went away.
Really? It's kind of weird. I know like with my like ghost experience, or when I was younger, that was like my biggest fear was like ghosts and stuff. So eventually like I wanted to get over that fear, and that's why we started messing with the Ouija boards and stuff. But I remember my first ever ghost experience that like scarred me so much. It made me so scared. I lived in Ohio at the time, and we were living in this like small apartment. It was a pretty new apartment, so like you wouldn't expect it to be like haunted or anything. And I never had any other experiences there really, besides this one. I only lived there for a year, but I remember we were it was just me. I was sleeping. It was like 3 a.m, and I had woken up randomly, and I like turned over, and it was just like pitch dark in my room. Then all of a sudden the lights flip on, and then I look back at the door. There's no one there, and then I see the fucking lights go off, and so I'm freaking out. I go under my covers, and I can't move. Like I'm just like under my covers. I remember having to pee really bad, but like I just couldn't move. I think I was just like frozen in fear, and then my bed starts shaking for like 20 minutes, at least, maybe, I don't know. It felt like a while, and then I just passed out. And then I woke up the next morning just like, what the fuck just happened? And I literally have no idea what happened to this day. I don't know if it was just a really weird, vivid dream, or I was in some like sleep paralysis, weird mode. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't know. It's weird. The older I get, like, the more the memory kind of like fades into, oh, this could have just been a weird thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe it was a dream. But I remember back then being like, that happened and being like really freaked out. You know what I mean? But that was like my first ever ghost experience. But like, I feel like at some point I wanted to get over that fear of ghosts, and I think I learned that if you're just not afraid or if you don't show fear, then shit usually just goes away.
Yeah.
If you feel some weird energies, at least that's what I think. I don't know. You never had a ghost experience, Matt?
Not really. No.
Nothing ever.
Not that I can remember.
What if we did a podcast in a haunted place?
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a pain in the ass to light, but
Yeah.
it'd be fun.
Yo, leave a like and comment something. If you want to see us do a podcast in a haunted abandoned building, we could try to figure out how to do it. It might not be as professional as this, but we could try to figure something out. I'm sure.
I mean, our whole brand is kind of scuffed, so I feel like it still works.
Yeah. No, that'd be so cool. We
That would
should
be cool.
we should go camping in a haunted place, and we'll shoot a video, and then we'll shoot a podcast, and then just like not sleep, and then my idea is we bring like Jenga. See, I've done this before, and the loser of the Jenga match has to go walk to the other side of wherever we're at and back by themselves at night, like 3 in the morning. You guys down?
Yeah.
Attach a GoPro to your
Oh
head.
my
Just
gosh.
turn your brightness up.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
And yeah, use your diamond pickaxe in case you see anything spooky.
I don't know what happened to it.
Bring your Fortnite gun to shoot all the ghosts away.
They'll be so scared.
Not doing my attack, it'll only do 9 damage.
I think one of my weirdest experiences that I've had, like with just like scary things in general. This wasn't even ghosts. This was I think I might have probably told you all this story, but I guess not everyone's heard it. We ran into a satanic cult once, right? I think I told you guys the story.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so this was 4 years ago, maybe 5. I don't remember. I lived in Boston area at the time, and every weekend we would go to these abandoned haunted places and just camp out and just try to get spooked, because that was just our hobby back then. We'd like bring a Ouija board and whatever. We heard of this place. It was a like swamp area, and apparently is super active with ghosts and like other shit. Like we were reading online, I remember it was like 2 in the morning. We were just making fun of it because I was like, this is stupid, because it was like UFO sightings, ghost sightings, pterodactyl sightings, and I was like, okay, so this is a joke, huh? But then we started hearing noises in the woods. We were literally just camped out in the middle of this field surrounded by woods, and we started hearing noises pretty far away, but we didn't really think anything too much of it. Like, it sounded like a pig squealing, though, which is a very specific noise. But I was
It was
like,
a pterodactyl.
That's
what pterodactyls sound like.
Is that facts?
Yeah, dude. Have you never heard of pterodactyl before?
I guess not.
I have. Kind of weird you haven't, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's kind of weird, champ.
Well, I have, and they don't sound like pigs.
Yeah.
What do they sound like, Matt?
Can you make the noise?
It's like a really loud. No, it's like a really loud screech.
Try.
I can't mimic the sound at all. I've tried
He's
before.
never heard it, dude.
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, it's a pig.
This kid in my math class, he called it Pterodactyl Tuesday, and just he called it Pterodactyl Tuesday, and just randomly during class, he would just screech. It was like kind of sound.
Yo, that's
And he-
it. That's the sound.
That's it.
And
right
he
there.
would just screech in the middle of class while the teacher was like writing on the board or
Can
whatever.
you contact him? Can we call him right now and get the pterodactyl sound?
Yeah, I need a
No.
You don't know him
professional.
like that?
I
I
need
don't know him like
professional
that.
input on this.
Yeah, we need professional.
But it was hilarious. But
Really?
I'm pretty sure he studied pterodactyls and sounds. So that's
I believe him.
All right,
Any-
back to the story.
Anyways, so we're camping out. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning around the time. 2 of my friends had fallen asleep. So 3 in the morning hit, and that's like haunting hours. So I'm like, we have to go into the woods now. If we're going to see anything, it's going to be now. So we start walking in the woods. And I don't even think I'm recording anything because it's just like dark. So like I don't have any recording of this, which is kind of sucks. I have the recording of our afterthoughts, like when we're freaking out in the car, but that's all I have. But we were walking. We walked a good mile, and my friend's like, "Yo, what is that?" And there's this little flame, like in the woods, And we're like, okay, I don't know. Let's get closer. That's what I said. I'd be the first to die in a scary movie, basically, because I always want to get closer to these things. So we got pretty close. We saw three lights walking in a circle. And my friend screams at the top of his lungs, "Oh fuck!" like super loud, and they all stop. And we were just like, go, like, cause all our minds, because we were just talking about it, like the websites were saying active cults and shit. So this is immediately what we're thinking. So we go sprinting full speed back to the car. I'm not even looking back at this point, because like I'm just like scared if they are following us, that'd be fucking terrifying. So I'm just like full sprint, all of us full sprint, straight back to the car. We run. We like pack up the tent. We push it with everything in it into the back of my trunk, because it has all our gear and shit. And then I get in the driver's seat, and I'm driving through this field with my head out the windows because everything's fogged up. Like, just, like, zooming out of there. And we got the fuck out of there. Funny part is I got pulled over by a cop on the way home, and he was like, "So what are you doing?" This is the first time I ever got pulled over. And I pulled over to the wrong side of the road because I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, we were ghost hunting. And the cop just starts laughing at me, and he's like, "This is the first time you've been pulled over?" It's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, well, you guys can go." And, like, he was just, like, laughing at the idea that we were ghost hunting. He didn't pull me over for any reason. It was just, like, my car was sketchy, and there was 4 of us driving at 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so the weird thing is, right, maybe it's not a cult. Maybe it's just some guys with some torches in the woods at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? But then an article comes out a month later on news, like, this was all over the news, that they found a burned, dead body around where we were camping, and they had no idea how it got there and why it was there. And I don't know if they ever found out. They might have, but you can look this story up. It's happened in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. So shit was kind of creepy.
I feel like the cult was just mad that you guys used cussies. I heard it's a no cussy forest. It's kind of fucked up. Oh, my bad. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're gonna get killed, dude. They're watching this. They're watching this right now.
Sorry.
But yeah, anyways, I don't know. That was like a creepy story I have. I don't know. I have a lot of weird stories like that. I feel like I could go on for like hours, because again, we did this like every weekend. Like, and that was our goal, was to catch stuff. Like, I think I have like 3 or 4 pictures of just like weird objects. Like, I have this one picture with like glowing eyes. We went to this asylum that used to be abandoned, but they had turned it into apartments, so we couldn't get in. But there was an old cemetery like behind it in the woods that just had number marked graves from people that lived at the asylum at the time, and they were just like buried without like a care. And I went back there and took a bunch of pictures, and we literally have this thing with like, there's like 2 glowing like objects, and then you could see like a skull. And like, I gotta find it on my computer because it's pretty creepy.
Is it the one that's in your video like years ago?
That one's a different.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know,
it looks like a little gremlin.
That one's weird too, because we did the Ouija board in this area. It's funny. The cemetery was called Valspire's End. Really weird now that I'm thinking about it, you know what I mean?
What the hell?
Where are you gonna die?
It's where I got cursed.
It's like you're about to have the room to yourself.
Bro, now he gonna take me with him. What the fuck?
That was the cemetery we visited the most. It was like one of the most haunted ones in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we went to this back area where they said a demon supposedly lived. And it was this it's apparently a leather creature that's pretty short that like has killed people that have fucked around in the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Leather creep, dude, that's fucking bougie.
Yeah, it's a leather like
made out of leather.
Kind of hot.
Got a
if you
Gucci
ask
belt
me.
on.
Gucci belt.
I'm just imagining one of those like the people that dress up like dogs and shit in like the full leather like outfits
So hot,
with like the
dude.
fucking leather.
So hot.
Wait, you're saying dogs are hot?
No. Furry?
Oh.
I'm a furry.
Oh,
No, just kidding. Just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
I don't think it was.
Brayden, you know what to do with that clip.
Listen here,
We're
bro.
gonna put that one on loop.
If people want to be furries, that's cool with me. I'm not a furry.
Exactly what a furry
Do
would
I
say.
do I own a flying squirrel onesie? Yes.
Would
But-
there be something wrong if you were a furry, Aiden?
There's nothing wrong with furries, okay? It's cool. I actually support people being themselves. But also, there's a lot of weird sexual things I have with furries that kind of creeps me out. I'm just saying.
So bestiality, yes or no?
Bestiality, not cool, dude. Consent, very cool. Renegade. Okay, Matt, messed up.
Yo, add the clip of Matt renegading.
No, that was not what I was.
You see those like fake, like I don't know, they're called like deep fakes or something where they put
Yeah.
the bodies. We'll just put a picture of Matt's head on a renegade.
Oh my gosh, you better not.
Yo, Matt, renegade for bestiality.
I'm not-
starts renegading.
Oh wait, no, stop that.
Dude, I have so much power.
Hey, wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, don't renegade if you love having sexual relations with your cousins.
Okay,
And you're
stop.
from Alabama.
Stop. I'm gonna play Chris Daughtry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
it's
so
just you're
funny.
from Alabama. I have to make the jokes.
Bama.
I think like it's just cool to like ghost hunt and stuff, and I think the reason ghosts are so interesting and everyone finds it so interesting is because like you don't know for sure if it's real, and we like having like certainty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are my favorite things. Like the stuff you don't have the answers to. That's why I love space and I love like
Yeah.
the idea of aliens and I love conspiracy theories. I think probably everyone does because you don't know the answer to them. If you
Well,
did
that's
know
like-
the answer to them, it probably wouldn't be as interesting, right?
And that's like
I
what
don't know.
makes it scary too. It's like like you said, that just fear of the unknown. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what's gonna happen, and
Yeah,
like
because you
all
don't.
we see is like horror movies and like terrible things happening in these situations.
Dude, Ghosts is just a simulation glitching out. That's what we figured out.
Huh.
That's all it is.
Yeah, we're all in a video game, and ghosts are just people using VR headsets.
Dude, the simulation theory messes me up. Like, it's actually really scary. Like, because, like, there's like a high chance, like, that we are actually in a simulation or some type of weird thing.
Well, I feel like that's like the easiest conspiracy theory to make believable, because it's like, how do you disprove that?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
There's
You
no
can't
way to disprove
unless
it.
you break the simulation. But how do you break the simulation?
Yeah, this is like
You
Inception.
die and you get the answer, maybe?
Delete
I don't know.
System 32.
Delete System 32 from Earth. I don't know. Do you, like, what would make you believe in the simulation theory?
I mean, I'm not like 100% sure what the theory is. Is it just kind of like the Matrix kind of thing? Like,
I mean, it's basically like
Basically.
humans, you know, like these video games and like that shit, like our AI systems have evolved so much in just the past like 20 years that it's like in like eventually down the line we'll be able to make simulations that are basically just lifelike, like almost identical. So
yeah, so maybe we're
we're
in
saying
one.
like, yeah, like a previous thing just got so advanced and they made us and we're just a simulation.
And like they're studying our progression to like study how they progress. I don't
Yeah.
fucking
Or
know.
like
What created them though?
a previous
Another
simulation.
simulation.
What created that?
Another
previous
simulation.
simulation.
Okay, what created them? Infinity.
Infinity them. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess there has to be a source.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
there
it
has to be a start, but that's
the
the
original
same.
people.
That's the same thing with like God versus like what the Big Bang. You know what I mean? It's the same exact argument. Would say.
God, Big Bang, simulation,
Holy
But then who
Trinity.
created God, right?
the simulation.
The simulation. But then who created the simulation?
Velociraptors.
Nothing makes sense.
What do you mean?
This is why I've had multiple existential crises, because I'm just like, why am I here? I mean, I'm gonna enjoy life, but like, also, why the fuck am I here? What am I doing? What's the point?
You're getting deep, bro.
Am I getting too deep for the podcast?
I
I'm
just wanted
sorry.
to talk about a simulation.
I love the simulation theory.
Assimilation.
I love assimilations. No, I just find it really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
what is? I mean, we get like really deep. Like, what is the purpose of life? Not. I mean, my viewpoint on life is I don't know. So let's just make the most of it because we got a short time on this earth. Might as well just live it up. I mean, that's my viewpoint.
Like
But then you can have the really negative point where you're just like, what's the point of living? I'm just gonna sit here and decay.
I feel like the purpose of life is to find your purpose in life. Bro.
That was deep. Renegade for that one.
No.
Every time we renegade, they have to insert the clip of Matt.
Yeah, no,
It has to happen.
I have the
Like-
clip now. I'm too powerful.
No, I didn't do anything.
No, dude, you're doing it right now. You're doing
renegade.
it. Matt, stop renegading.
Stop! I
Stop
didn't renegade.
renegading.
I'm not renegading.
Matt loves renegades.
While you're saying I'm not renegading, like
I'll get the deep fake ready. Matt renegading.
yo, deepfakes are actually really scary though.
They're
Like,
terrifying, right?
Did you see that shit that came out recently? It was like they replaced the two people from
Back to the Future.
yeah with
Tom
Robert Downey
Holland.
Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
That
saw
was
that. Oh
it was
my gosh.
insane.
We'll
It looked
watch it
so
after the
good.
podcast.
You know what's creepy is like, I feel like eventually they're gonna be able to use that just for like anyone. Like I'm saying, like if a celebrity dies, they can keep using their face for marketing. Like
I mean,
you
they're
can
already
sell your
CGI
soul. I
people.
mean, yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
Well,
now.
there's a new movie they're doing. I don't remember what it's called or like what it was. But they were, I don't know if this is still the plan, but this was the plan for a while, and it had a lot of controversy of like using like James Dean and like doing like a deep fake of him. He's like an actor like years and years ago who like died young, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna use him and stuff. But then there's like all sorts of, who does like the copyright go to? Who's the money go to? Like,
yeah.
also they're taking jobs away from real people and stuff. It's like there was like so much controversy.
Yeah, I think morally,
But
I would
that
say,
could be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I morally, I don't think it's right.
I don't either.
I don't think it
It's
should be
weird.
a thing. I
That
think
is
it's just
weird.
creepy, honestly.
There's like the idea where we're like afraid of things that are like almost human but like not quite. I
Mhm.
can't remember the word for it. But like with
Oh,
like
yeah.
AI and like bots and stuff that are like so close to human but they're not. It's just like really creepy.
Gamers.
Gamers.
Hate them.
For-
I hate them. They're the most depressed people as gamers.
That's fact.
That's just
Um,
facts.
Dude, they're gonna like use that shit to like keep Fast and Furious going for like another gajillion fucking sequels. Paul Walker's gonna come back from the dead with like deep fakes now.
I think
It's gonna happen.
I think the creepiest thing is they can, someone can make a deep fake of someone and then it just be some weird shit and then that something that can ruin their career.
Incriminate them. And just,
Yeah, instant cancellation, man. Like just like that. Cause
Well, like think about it like this, especially like not just like are there like deep fakes for like visual stuff, like there's like audio stuff too where you can like recreate sentences just from like clips of people's voice and like make them very smooth and
Yo,
like
fuck that, dude.
sound legit.
Fuck
So
that.
somebody could literally like dress up kind of like Donald Trump, put a deep fake on, like and like record basically saying that like they're gonna like bomb North Korea or some shit,
Dude,
and
some
start like a
crazy
war.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really scary.
Mhm.
Let me put my tinfoil hat back on. This shit's so crazy, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about any of that shit. AI shit's really creepy to me too.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna have smarter things than humans, then what's the point of humans, right?
Yeah, I mean that's been a theme in like movies forever, like humans versus technology.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and every time it kind of seems like humans lose.
Terminator. We take a big L.
This is a crazy rabbit hole of topics we just went down.
We went from ghosts to conspiracy theories
Yeah. I just feel like they go
to
hand in hand.
Terminator.
Yeah,
I wanted to start a podcast a long time ago called Conspiracy Kool-Aid where we talked about just conspiracies and like cults and just like interesting things. Stuff that really interests me because that's stuff that
yeah.
I'm really into that I don't ever really
Cults are
talk
really
about.
interesting.
Mhm.
We should try to find like an ex-cult member to interview. I think
That
that'd
would
be cool.
Dude, I want to make a documentary. I want to join a cult and make a documentary on the cult while I'm in
Nice.
it, like some like
We're never seeing him again.
007 type shit, but like that's also
have the
like a
room to
really sketchy
myself.
thing.
Well, wait.
Okay.
If we're interviewing a cult member, I used to be like a part of a Call of Duty clan. I don't know if that counts. It's kind of culty.
Mm.
We did quick scope, no scope matches.
I was the leader of a Call of Duty clan. Does that make me a
I
cult
thought
leader?
I was the leader.
I don't think we ever played together.
Actually, I was the leader of like the clan that owned both your clans. Therefore, I'm higher up in the
You're
chain.
a cult leader.
Yeah,
That's messed up. What'd you do?
I quick scoped noobs
What makes a cult a cult
and
and like
slayed e-girls.
what makes a cult and a religion a religion?
Cults are like I think.
More radical? No.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Is it called just like bad connotation to do with like beliefs?
I mean, cults typically like the leader is like very like manipulative and like is like usually like the divine source of power, So like gets a large group of people to follow him and like
And then
do
uses
what
them.
he wants. Yeah, and uses them.
He's
for,
the
like,
messiah or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I
It's
want to
just,
like learn more about like cults because they're super like spooky.
They are spooky. I mean, I've been watching like I forget the documentary that I've been watching, but I've only seen one episode, but they're talking about called super interesting. I think it's on like HBO, but like it's just some like fucked up shit. Like this dude, literally, he started this cult basically based around the idea that, hey, I know how to make your life better, and he got all these people to join his cult, and then he started tatting people like secretly, but he had people sending collateral, right? Which collateral is you tell all your dark secrets so that if you and like video yourself saying some really fucked up shit, and so that if you ever try to leave the cult, they just release that shit and ruin your entire life. But you have to do that to gain ranks in the cult, right? So like, so he did this to people, and then he like made people get tattoos of like his signature and like just all this really messed up
I've seen
shit.
stuff about this.
And he had
I
this
can't
like
remember.
underground sex cult, like basically just slaves, like girl slaves, and that they were like completely compliant with it. And I'm like, dude, this is some crazy shit. Like I don't know. Cult shit's weird, bro.
Yeah, it's weird thinking about like modern cults and like if there are like things like that are happening like in secret, like because the
Almost
biggest
like some like Far Cry 5 shit.
yeah,
Like right.
the thing I think of most is like the Jim Jones thing. That was like super scary. Like that was when he got like a bunch of followers to like follow him to some random like island, and they like all lived out there, and then they all like drank Kool-Aid together that had cyanide and literally killed everyone.
That's why I wanted to call my podcast Conspiracy Kool-Aid.
The most messed up thing about that though was like kids that were like not in like the big like like area where they're all sitting were like running around in the fields and stuff. Nurses literally like would run up to them and like just squirt cyanide like in their mouth.
Bro.
And then so like the parents were like, they're like, look, your kids are already like moved on, like now it's your turn, like. And for a parent, it's
I didn't
like,
even know that.
yeah,
That's messed up.
like it's super messed up.
Yeah, cults are scary.
Imagine just like running up to someone and like squirting cyanide in their mouth and be like, "Gotcha."
Gotcha. It's so fucked up.
Gotcha, bitch.
It's so messed up. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to make I want to make a documentary eventually. I want to like an interesting topic, and cults. Like if I was to infiltrate a cult somehow and like expose them and help a bunch of people, that'd be really cool. Like
Yeah.
I've always had
Dude,
that.
that's so like
doing something like that. But that's
risky, though.
that's a really scary thing to even attempt because you get on the bad side of someone, like even like Scientology, they'll just like fuck up your life.
And it's also like, obviously all these people that are joining these cults aren't just like stupid,
Oh no.
Like these leaders are like insanely good at like manipulating
Speech
people.
100.
Speech, yeah.
Speech 100.
They upgraded their speech all the way. Charisma, speech. They just focused on those.
That's it, dude. They lowered the rest of their stuff.
Strength like 0.
Purely charisma build.
Weird build. We're gamers.
Could you imagine like you
I'm
going
not a
through Skyrim?
gamer.
We're the most oppressed.
Dude, I'm so oppressed.
So oppressed being a gamer.
Yo, gamers want to get such a bad connotation if they showered and like trim their eyebrows.
Well, I used to
That's
go.
basically it.
Well, I used to play competitive Call of Duty. For anyone who doesn't know, I used to go to like competitions and stuff with my team. I was on a team of Canadians. Shout out to my Canadian friends that I played Call of Duty with back in like 9th grade. But yeah, I went to like gaming events stuff. Yeah, but like no one wears deodorant.
It's so bad.
Why? Or I went to PAX East, which is a gaming convention when I was younger too. Again, no one wears deodorant.
And it's like, it's so bad because like you don't want to believe that it's like an actual thing. But like if you go to the events and shit or just like, hang around,
Yeah.
you sure as hell fucking smell it, and like it's a fucking thing.
Yeah, I had friends
It's
like
awful.
that too, and like I would never really say anything. I just kind of dealt with it, but like
Yeah.
it's
so bad, dude.
bad.
I
Now,
just-
I mean, if any of you guys smell that, like, you smell, put some
Yeah.
deodorant
Yeah.
on, but
You should probably go
Okay,
shower.
what the heck?
Stinky.
Yeah.
I just used your deodorant, so it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the house.
We share deodorant,
isn't
and
it?
then we share toothbrushes, and then.
I mean, I've been using Braden's for
two-
the past 7 months.
what?
That's kind of hot.
What are you saying?
Want a kiss?
No.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
Share deodorant.
Oh, you use my toothbrush too?
Yes.
You both use my toothbrush?
Oh,
Yes.
we all use your toothbrush.
Yeah, I use it.
Why do y'all have toothbrushes then?
Oh, they're like backup in case
In
you
case-
lose yours or
yeah.
something.
Well, we use yours to clean the
what else do you
bathrooms,
guys
too.
use?
Oh, I don't know if we want to get into that on the podcast.
I know. I mean, because you sniff my underwear too. We've already been over that.
Okay, that's not true.
I don't know. I mean,
I wear your underwear to bed.
Okay, wait.
so he sniffs them and then you wear them. Okay, and then he sniffs them again. Okay.
We've been
So
talking.
you basically sniff Chase's underwear.
Okay,
And
listen,
my
guys.
underwear.
Yeah. Topic. Let's
Kinda
not. We
weird.
don't have to talk about this right now. We can talk about other stuff.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, we're on conspiracy theories, and now this is just a conspiracy that you
This
sniff
is just a game theory.
our under.
Listen, I renegade that I do not sniff your underwear.
Yo, Matt, renegade,
do you sniff
renegade
the
if he's
underwear?
lying. Renegade if he's lying.
What? He is lying.
So
He's not
renegade.
renegading.
Oh, I mean, he will be in the edit.
No.
Okay,
Didn't renegade.
we've been talking for like 50 minutes, and I want to do one last section of the podcast, which I want to try to do this every podcast, which is advice with us.
Podcast advice with the boys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I posted on Instagram and asked people to send in questions, and we're gonna give advice. Are we qualified at giving advice? Probably not. Is it gonna be good advice? Probably not. But we're gonna try our best.
I'm actually a qualified advice giver.
Should probably also clarify that if anyone says some like depressed stuff, that this isn't a replacement for therapy.
No, it's.
Like,
I
we're
mean,
not
obviously
therapists.
not. I don't know what I'm doing with my
We are
life.
not professional help. We're just dudes.
If you want my advice, I have no idea what I'm doing ever. So like, take my advice with a grain of salt.
Does anyone know what they're doing though?
No one knows what they're doing.
Nobody has it figured out.
That's what
Everyone
I've
who says
been
they do. Bullshit.
If you feel sad or depressed, get clinical help.
Yo,
Um,
whipping a dab for clinical help.
Yo, Matt, renegade if
Renegade
you
if you hate depression.
Okay. It's not fair.
You're so messed up, dude.
What the hell?
So messed up.
Just go like this, Matt. That's all you gotta do.
No.
Just a little.
Whoa.
Can we just title this podcast "Renegade for Consent"?
Matt renegades for the first time.
No.
Yo, there was also a
Never.
bit like a few minutes ago where he went like this. So like you could like edit that together.
No. Well, that's just a normal hand motion.
Literally.
And he's doing. We're mix it together.
Yo, man, pretend you're
No,
eating food.
Yo,
No.
Imagine you got some water stuck in your ear.
Yeah, you're trying to get it
you
out.
just.
No. No. I don't even know what those are. Oh my god.
Okay, let's stop. Let's go into this. I'm just gonna scroll randomly, and whatever my finger lands on will be the first question. Okay. Is kissing the homies gay?
No way, dude. Every night,
No.
put on lo-fi beats to kiss your homies to, tuck them into bed, and kiss them goodnight.
Yeah,
Kiss them
dude.
right in the lippies.
Chase and I do that every night.
Those do be
dude.
the facts,
Fuck
bro.
yeah.
We nuzzle, wuzzle them, and give them a little kissy wissy.
Ooh, you're so warm.
And then if you're like on Aiden's level, you can sniff their underwear too.
Okay, again, I renegaded to prove that I do not
Okay.
do that, and that's on Renegade.
But in conclusion, kissing the homies, not gay.
Not gay.
It'd be kind of gay if
No,
you
it's
didn't
fine
kiss
if
the
it's
homies.
gay. Yeah, nothing wrong with being gay. It's completely fine.
Yeah, it might be a little more gay though if you don't kiss your homies.
Yeah.
And that's just facts,
100.
right?
Right.
Can we get a
Oh.
renegade?
You get a renegade if we're not gay.
Is this bit getting annoying yet?
I love
love
it.
this
Okay, this is a really interesting question. Who's your favorite roommate named Chase?
I wonder who asked that.
I don't know. I don't have any.
Everyone should answer that. I'm really interested to know.
I don't think I have one.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah, we'll just go to the next
I
question.
feel like that's a loaded question.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer. I feel like that's like yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's see.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a good question here.
They're all good questions.
No, there's
Just some of them
really
are better
bad
than
ones.
others.
Some
Yeah.
really bad ones.
By a large margin.
That last question was pretty good.
That
That
was-
one was pretty shit.
Honestly, I
not
probably
gonna
shouldn't
lie.
even have said that one. I kind of regret it.
That one
Um,
kind of put me in physical pain.
I baited you, dude. I knew you would say it.
What to do if you were in love with your ex? You guys have an experience with this?
It's a little vague of a question. Like, we don't know their situation.
True. But like, if you were still in love with your ex, what would be the best way to get over that?
I mean,
I guess that's a hard thing. Well,
you have to think about what the reasons you guys broke up in the first place, because it's easy to look back on the good stuff, but like, obviously you guys broke up for a reason. And so looking back on that and realizing that that's probably still going to be there if you guys get back together,
that's a good advice.
and realizing if you can put up with that, if it's worth it, you got
Yeah.
to think about that.
I think the problem I had was like, looking at, like, after we broke up, looking at all the great times we had, because there's a lot of
Mhm.
those, and not realizing, like, why we broke up and the problems that were there.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, I guess, not to say, hey, look at all the negatives of your relationship, but also it's like, there's a reason that you
Mhm.
broke up.
Yeah.
And, like, probably, I mean, I don't know.
Like, you're dating to find somebody that you're compatible with long term, potentially.
yeah,
I mean, you could just be dating someone just for the fun of it, but
Yeah. I mean, unless they just, like, the reason you broke up is, like, oh, someone moved away, or, like,
mhm.
someone fell out of love.
Yeah.
That's a little harder, I would say, to get over.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is that good advice?
I don't know.
I can't really weigh in on this.
It's hard. It's hard to not, unless you know the full situation of that
Yeah.
specific individual.
Mhm.
It's hard to give advice.
Each relationship is different.
I feel like the best thing in a breakup ever, like for pretty much every situation, is just to work on yourself and like do things that you wanted, like you've been wanting to do, and just taking small steps,
Like play
to
Fortnite.
better yourself. Probably don't play Fortnite.
No, play a lot of Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Don't play
It's
Fortnite.
good.
Fortnite's really good breakup therapy.
This is a question I get. I get a lot, which is, how do you get out of your comfort zone? Like, what's the best way to push yourself or motivate yourself to get out of your comfort zone? I guess I don't know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I would say that trying to get out of your comfort zone can be a little hard sometimes, but I think, I don't know how do you explain that. I mean, you just got to do it. Like,
Yeah.
there's not really
You really
anything
just
else.
don't think about it. Like I feel like for a lot of people, they're more worried about like what other people think. You know,
Yeah.
like if they go to do something.
People overthink it, and in the end, it doesn't really matter whatsoever what anyone else thinks. It's really just a mental thing. And
It's what you think. You know,
Yeah.
how that, what doing that thing will make you, or how
Yeah.
that'll make you feel, and just like I don't know.
Yeah.
fucking do it.
I think the easiest way for me is finding friends that I could be completely comfortable around.
Yeah.
And then just like someone like people having people around me that I could just like completely be honest about everything, all my ideas is
Yeah.
really nice to have,
Mm.
and just like them not judging you, because then it's like you can get out of your comfort zone with your friends.
Right.
Like when you go and try to find Valentine's Day dates together, and it's
And
really
Exactly.
cringy.
And you all get curved.
And you all get curved and rejected, but it's fine because you did it together.
Yeah, being able to
Power
laugh at yourself, like
Friendship.
that day, like was fun just because we were like laughed at ourselves. Like
Yeah.
people walked by, like rejected us. Like it was so funny, you know. So
Just
like,
like don't take yourself so seriously all the time. You
Yeah,
know?
actually, someone messaged me after the podcast. Shout out to Maria, she's really awesome. But she watched that portion of the podcast, and she's like, "Hey, that was actually like really good advice you said." And I think it was when we were talking about embarrassing ourselves and how the more you embarrass yourself, the more you become yourself, because the less you really care. It's like working
Yeah.
out that muscle. And
definitely.
I mean, that's really it. How you get out of your comfort zone. You just need to go. You just need to kind of do
Mm.
it and like force yourself to do it and like not overthink it.
Yeah.
If I overthink something, sometimes I just won't end up doing it. It's just like I have that day. It's like, okay, let's just do it. Just go now.
Yeah.
Let's get it over with. Because if I think about it too long, I'm not gonna end up doing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
But-
like I saw this video where Will Smith was talking about like jumping out of an airplane or like whatever for the first time, and he said something that like stuck with me. It was like the point of maximum fear is the point of like minimum danger. So like he said, like when he was like about to skydive, like the point where he was like the most afraid was before he jumped, when he was still like safely on the airplane. So it's like translate that to like everyday situations or like whatever you're feeling anxiety about, like the point where you're going to be the most afraid and the most like worried and self-conscious and anxious is the moment before anything happens, you know. So it's just take a breath, like take that step, and like if you fail, like it's cool, like but
Yeah,
if not,
the
like
parachute doesn't, you know.
Yeah, you'll just
Bro, no, I had just had deja vu. Okay, real talk, dude. Okay, this is crazy. I don't remember who I told about this, but I remember specifically telling someone about this dream I had, where there was a blue light, and I was sitting in a room talking to you guys, and I remember the blue light specifically, because that was weird. And then I remember the alarm going off, dude.
Yo.
And I remember feelings we were talking about some weird topic with cameras on us. Dude, this was all in a dream. I'm not even kidding. This is weird.
Like recently?
What's also
This
weird,
was like months ago. I
Oh,
remember.
it's fun.
Oh my god, dude.
Was it
That's
me then?
weird.
I don't. It was either you or Naren, or yeah, probably you or Naren. You guys are the people I talk to the most. And I remember having a dream, being like, dude, I had the weirdest dream, and I just remember the blue light really specifically, and I remember just like kind of being a little hot and just a little like, I don't know, dude, what the fuck? I'm freaking out.
What's
This is
crazy
weird.
Dude,
It's
okay,
the
well
worst.
that must be wrong. He said a little hot, dude. He's ugly as fuck. What the fuck? Dude,
Okay, but
But
real
when we were
talk, dude.
setting up, you were like very adamant about the blue light too, which is like
Yeah.
another thing that's kind of crazy.
True. Because
Oh
we were in
my
between red and
God,
blue, and
yeah.
you're like, nah, blue. It's
I'm
alright.
tripping.
Dude,
I'm
next
tripping.
next podcast we should talk about Déjà Vu because like, oh man, I don't
yeah.
even understand it and I get it all the time.
It's
I
a
get it,
glitch
like, a
in the
couple times.
simulation.
It's a glitch in the simulation. We're full circle, man. Dude, it happens to me every couple months.
Mhm.
It's weird.
That's so
or I'll, like
crazy.
I'll dream something specific up and then it will end up happening. But it's always the weirdest, like most mundane things.
Yeah.
It's never
Yeah.
anything super crazy. Like
Mhm.
I used to have a camera in every once in a while, and it happened even way back when I was like live streaming on Twitch. I remember it happening a couple times, and like this one though, this is one of the most vivid like
Yeah.
deja vu moments. I don't know. Deja vu
Do you
makes me
ever-
feel comfortable sometimes because it makes me think maybe I'm on the right track.
Mhm. Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Do you ever feel like right before like déjà vu happens? Do you just like feel it coming on ever? Because like I feel like every time it's coming or it's about to happen, I just like kind of like feel weird. I
Dude,
don't
it
know.
hits me out of nowhere every
Yeah.
time personally. It's just like 1 second I'm like not even thinking about it. The next second it's like, bro, wait, stop everything,
That's
because
crazy.
this is weird. And I'll tell the people I'm with that I'm like, this is deja vu.
Mhm. I
That
really want to get behind the science of it. It's
I'm sorry, I'm like freaking out. This is weird. This whole situation was
Oh,
just
that is
fucking
weird.
with me, dude.
Damn, that's crazy.
damn, that's crazy.
I haven't had deja vu in a while. I can't even remember what
Yeah.
the last thing was.
I don't know. I don't know. The way I try to think about it that comforts me is like, hey, like I guess I am on the right track.
It's a checkpoint.
Or- yeah, it's like a checkpoint. It's like, hey, I'm doing
What?
okay. I'm on the right track.
Is deja vu, dude? I'm so like tripping out thinking
Alright, wait,
about
hold
it. Let's like we can talk about this later.
Back-
I don't want to get on
advice.
like a huge.
Okay,
Well, next
back to
podcast, next
advice. Back to
podcast.
advice. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Advice on not going to college and getting shit from everyone around me. That's hard. I think.
mean, college isn't for everybody.
I mean, yeah. I don't.
It
think,
really depends on what you want to do. Like,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it really depends on what you want to do. I kind of did college as a way of I don't know what I want to do. Let me just give myself
explore
some
your
time.
options.
Yeah, while I'm in college. That was
Mhm.
it. And I mean, I was doing community college for 2 years. It was an easy thing to do on the
Yeah.
side while I'm doing other stuff. But again, college isn't for everyone. I think life is short. You know, make the most of it. Do what you want to do. I would say that's my advice. But
Yeah, it's the same thing that we were talking about in the last question too. Sort of like what other people think, like doesn't matter at all.
yeah,
It's
like, if
what's gonna
people
make you
are-
happy.
Yeah, people are making fun of you
Yeah.
or whatever. Like you don't need them in your life. Like there's always gonna
yeah.
be
Honestly,
people.
fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah, I took time off and I did community college kind of sparingly, where I did like just a couple classes at a time, and I worked
exactly.
a lot. And that was a time where I kind of found what I wanted to do and found some of my
Same,
closest
kinda.
friends. And yeah, like school isn't for everybody. So, I mean, yeah, like it's annoying when people think that like you have to graduate in 4 years. You have to like
College is kind of a scam, low
college
key.
kind
like,
of is a scam.
I mean, it can be. It's like you pay a lot of money and you're not guaranteed anything really.
No.
So like it's a little.
most places would rather have somebody that has job experience than somebody that has a degree.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think so many people are now getting degrees that it's.
It's just the degree helps you get
Yeah.
a job.
I mean,
do
I
a
don't
good
want to talk
job.
shit on school. If you're doing school,
No.
I mean, school's
No,
not
school's
a bad.
great,
School's
too.
a great thing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be like, hey, everyone drop out of school. I had someone
Don't drop out.
don't.
I mean, unless you want to.
Someone commented though, and it made me feel really bad, like a long time ago, saying something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm in medical school and I'm gonna drop out because I watch your videos and you've inspired me and I realized I hate school," which made me. I didn't know how to respond to it because it's like, well, I guess if they don't really want to do school, they don't have to. But it's like, but in their message, like, I've been doing it for like years now, and like that's been my focus my entire life, and my parents have been. And I'm like, oh damn, so you're gonna flip your whole life around.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad because now I feel like that weight's on my shoulders.
It's like you don't want to be responsible.
I just don't want to be responsible for
Right.
that because it's like I do a lot of stupid shit, but like, I don't know. I'm always worried about inspiring people to take a stupid risk by accident, and then them being in a bad stage or bad whatever. But it's like also it's your life. Do what you want to do. So it's like I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you hate it, then like, don't do it. But
Right.
also, I don't know. It's a weird.
As long as you have a plan, like you'll be good. Like, don't just drop out of school or anything just for the sake of you want to do something. Start doing that while you're in school.
Yeah.
Like make sure you always have plans.
I take a lot of stupid risks, but I guess most people recommend taking calculated risks, which is like having backup plans to your risk taking, so that if stuff does go wrong, you can fall back on something. And that's some good advice. I don't know. I do a lot of stupid shit, and they're not super calculated most of the time, personally.
I've tried to hone that in and put some method behind the madness.
I think
I have failed.
I have friends, like really good friends that support like me. So like, I mean, I feel like my fallback plan is not, hey, I'm just gonna fuck up my friends and just lean on them. But like, I don't know. It's just like I know I have people that would, I think, help me if I ever got into a bad situation. I think that's my backup plan, which is like I would be okay if I mean I would hate working some shit like a retail job or anything like that. But I know like. If it came down to it, as long as I just had my group of friends and, I could just live, I would be okay. And just do fun stuff on the side. I feel like I'm pretty good at finding things to do. If that makes any sense. Like, obviously, I'm pushing my goals as hard as I possibly can and trying my hardest. There's no doubt in that. But I think, and I don't think I'm going to fail. But, like.
But if everything fell through and everything went to shit, you're like, okay.
I just think I still could be happy in my situation, because happiness isn't about having everything you want. Happiness, I think personally, is more about just, finding the little things in life and, having genuine connections with people and being, someone you want to be. I think that's where happiness comes. And I don't think it comes in completely succeeding like all the time, because not everyone's going to. Obviously, I want to succeed, and I think everyone should strive to do that, if that makes any sense. I don't want, okay. I'm going off on a weird tangent.
Set your goals high, but like, actually, I'm just going to leave it there. Set your goals high.
Set your goals high. Push at that as hard as you can. And I don't know.
And do it because you want to, not because
somebody
your
else
parents or other people say it's not what you should be doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if it makes you happy and like that's what you want to do, you got to stay true to yourself, or else you're going to end up hating yourself. At least personally, I know that if I wasn't pushing the thing that I wanted to do, I don't know, it's like a weird mental thing where I just like I would feel a little bad about myself. I
saw this video a couple years ago, and it just like changed my whole perspective on things, where it's like, typically on average people live to like about, we'll say like 80 years. First like 15, maybe 90. First like 20-ish years of your life, you're a kid, right? Maybe like 22, whatever. That whole period, you're pretty free. And you're making a lot of choices that affect you for the rest of your life, right? And then the next maybe like 60% of your life, you're working, for the most part. Like, not always, like sometimes people get lucky and they can retire early. But for the most part, you're working like a big chunk of your life, and then you get to retire, relax, whatever. So like that 60% is the majority of your life, and you don't want to spend that doing something you hate. Yeah. Like you should be doing something you love in that time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how it should be. I think you should strive to be free and like do what you want to do. And
like,
I think
don't just get a job because you're like, oh, it's gonna make me a lot of money. Like if you hate that job, like it's the majority of your life.
It's the majority of your life. I mean, I think, I don't know. That's something I always like talk about, is like that happiness is also kind of freedom, or doing something you want to do is low key that freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you get.
If you like your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, but we're also young, and who knows?
You know.
I don't know. That's my advice. Yeah. Okay. Next question. I guess we'll do one more question, and then we'll call it, because we're probably way over an hour now. You should give advice on how to tell a close friend you're into them without ruining the friendship. That's
hard.
You really can't, dude.
Yeah.
Like you have to like
I feel
either
like you gotta establish what you want early on, like when you meet somebody.
Yeah.
Because if you wait too long, it gets weird. I mean, you
Yeah.
can, and maybe it'll work out. Hopefully.
Well,
I mean,
that's
they
the thing,
could
life-
feel the same way, you know.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm saying life is kind of too short. You kind of just need to go for it.
Yeah.
But it might suck. But if you value the friendship over the
That is-
relationship, then what do you do?
I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, my thought is go for it, because if you're gonna be that close to that person and it's gonna hurt you every day that you're like, you know, not with them and you have feelings for them but they don't for you, like I feel like that's much heavier than just like putting what's on your heart out there, getting rejected, and then kind of like moving on, you know.
I would
Because
say
you could still be friends.
Yeah.
And it could work out, or like it couldn't. But if you don't say anything, then you're still stuck in that like limbo.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you guys are really close friends and you told them and they maybe weren't super into the relationship thing, if you guys were truly friends, then you'd be okay with that and you can move past it, I think.
I mean,
if you value friendship that much.
I did it once. You know that story.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, if the initial thing wasn't bad, but then like it led to a whole lot of drama, and me and that person didn't talk for a while. But now we're chill, and like it's kind of funny to talk about.
Yeah,
But, I don't know,
you might need to step back a little bit for a little bit of time to get over.
I mean, that was just my situation, and there was a whole lot of other stuff surrounding that.
Yeah,
But
I guess that's pretty good advice, Matt. You have any advice?
I mean, you could try to like drop hints and see
Yeah.
how they kind of react to like subtle romantic gestures.
Just little flirt, a
Yeah,
little.
little flirty gestures.
kiss them on the mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, you're
It's really subtle.
looking kind of really cool with that shirt.
Yeah, I saw this TikTok.
I like your bulge.
Okay,
Oh,
wait.
Uh-huh.
I'm uncomfortable. I didn't consent to this. I didn't renegade to that.
I saw this TikTok, and this guy was like, "Yo, this is 100% surefire way to get a girl. You look at her, put your hand on her shoulder, you say, yo, she,
Or you can make the pterodactyl noise.
Yeah.
Dude,
How
I'm,
did it go, Matt?
I'm dripping right now. Holy shit.
I don't know.
So anyone out there struggling, remember to be
You got a
Yoshi.
pterodactyl screech.
Oh, wait, is that the thing from like Spider-Verse? The fucking.
Hey.
Hey. Ooh, I'm a little turned on.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, okay. I would say we could call it here. We've been talking for like an hour and a half, I think. It's actually been way over podcast time. So,
Less editing.
less editing. We got to cut some stuff out, I guess. We'll cut out all of Braden's parts. And
We'll have Matt Renegade for 30 minutes.
that will be the entire podcast is Matt Renegade.
Can we make like a 10-hour loop of Matt Renegading?
I'll upload that separately. Just
Yeah.
No.
Anyways,
Yo, for the one where he goes like
Did not
this,
renegade.
just like do another clip where you flip it so it looks like he's doing it with the other hand.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you're a Patreon member, stay tuned because we're going to answer a bunch of Patreon questions for the next 30 minutes. If you want, go join the Patreon, and then you can get exclusive questions for yourself.
Any
and
amount of money helps, you know, just like keeping us afloat so we don't like starve and die.
It's
and then
I mean,
get some
it,
cool benefits. Like,
it literally helps. I literally could not afford to live in this apartment because YouTube doesn't pay me without Patreon. So shout out to my Patreon members. I love you guys. So
If you donate, Braden will send you a picture of his left nipple.
that's not one of the benefits, but some of the benefits. 30-minute podcast section of questions.
discount codes. You get
a special color in the Discord server. You should go join that. By
and
the
just
way,
exclusive videos that don't make final cuts of my main videos and stuff like that.
like
So,
behind the scenes and
stuff.
some other shenanigans.
So go donate to the Patreon. It helped me a lot. Just $1. You just only $1 a month at least, at the very least, and that helps a lot. If not, just leave a like on the video and
That helps too.
leave a comment. That helps a lot too. Thanks for watching. That has been the Hello Stranger.